Imagine this. You fill a tall glass, take a proud, long sip, and still feel tired by noon, foggy after lunch, and oddly flat when the day ends. If that sounds familiar, especially after 50, you're not broken. You're just following rules that your body quietly outgrew. Welcome to Men's Vital Health. I'm your guide today, and in a moment, you'll hear from Dr. Emily Carter, a urologist who spent decades helping men reclaim steady energy and healthy blood flow without gimmicks or quick fixes. Here's the twist that made me sit up straight. Water, the thing we've been told to drink more of, can glide through you like a polite stranger if it isn't paired with what your cells actually recognize and use. Think of each cell like a tiny engine, smart, capable, but picky about fuel. After midlife, those engines need more than plain H2O to switch on fully. When I first heard Dr. Carter explain this, it clicked. I realized I'd been hydrating, but not really charging anything. Now, I'm not saying to toss out your water bottle. I'm saying there's a smarter way to fill it. A simple daily tweak, small enough to forget, powerful enough to feel, can help your vessels relax, your circulation wake up, and that reliable level energy return. No hype, no heroics. Just a nudge that respects how your body actually works now, not how it worked at 25. Before we reveal the what, pause and do a quick gut check. Do your hands and feet run cold even when the room is warm? Does your afternoon energy dip feel more like a slide than a speed bump? Do you drink plenty of water yet still feel oddly parched, mentally or physically? If you nodded at any of those, you're exactly who Dr. Carter had in mind. So here's how this episode will flow. First, we'll uncover why your thirst signal and cell doors behave differently with age. Simple science, zero jargon. Then we'll walk through one practical addition you can make to your water that supports smoother blood flow and calmer, steadier days. Finally, you'll get a short, no-stress routine you can start tomorrow morning, before coffee, before emails, that fits into a real life, not a perfect one. And if you're thinking, I've tried it all, good. That means you'll recognize how refreshingly basic this is. No sprawling supplement shelf, no new diet to memorize, just a small adjustment that honors the way your body communicates now, not how it worked at 25. Ready to feel the difference between drinking and truly recharging? Stay with us. Dr. Emily Carter is about to show you how one mindful sip can start a quiet, powerful turnaround. Now, let's peel back the curtain on what really happens inside the body after midlife. Dr. Emily Carter often says that men in their 50s and 60s come to her office with the same puzzled complaint. Doc, I drink water all day long, but I still feel exhausted. At first, it sounds like a contradiction. How can someone drown themselves in water and still feel dry? Here's the key. Your body's hydration machinery doesn't work the way it used to. When you were young, thirst was loud and accurate. Your kidneys held on to the minerals you needed. Your cells acted like eager sponges, pulling in every drop. But once the years stack up, the engine starts to sputter. The thirst signal fades, the kidneys leak vital minerals faster than your diet can replace them, and your cells? They become reluctant gatekeepers, letting water slip right past them. I like to think of it this way. Imagine pouring water onto a hardened sponge. It doesn't soak in, it just runs off the surface. That's what hydrating can feel like after 50. You're putting water in, but it's not arriving where it matters most, inside your cells and your bloodstream. Here's where Dr. Carter drops the real surprise. She explains that hydration isn't just about volume, it's about chemistry. Your body doesn't simply need H2O, it needs that water to be electrically active. The spark that lets water move into cells comes from minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and others we'll talk about shortly. Without them, plain water may trick you with a full glass, but leave your circulation sluggish and your energy half-charged. Think of your phone.
Plugging it into a dead wall socket won't power it, no matter how long the cord is. In the same way, plain water without minerals is like a powerless socket. It passes through you without charging your system. The hopeful part? This isn't a life sentence. It's simply biology asking you to adapt. Add back the minerals your body quietly loses, and suddenly water regains its old magic. Blood vessels loosen. Oxygen moves freely. That steady sense of vitality, often assumed to be gone forever, begins to return. I can't help but share my own perspective here. I once dismissed this idea, thinking water was water, period. But after experimenting with mineral-infused hydration myself, the difference was striking. Clearer thinking in the morning, fewer slumps in the afternoon, and a calmer pulse, even on stressful days. Small shifts add up. So if plain water isn't enough, what exactly should you add to it? In the next part, we'll uncover the gatekeeper mineral, sodium, and why it has been unfairly blamed for decades. You'll learn why the right kind of salt can open the door to true hydration, while the wrong kind quietly sabotages your energy. Stay with us. This next piece may completely change the way you look at that simple glass of water on your table.
Sodium, the gatekeeper of hydration. When most of us hear the word sodium, we immediately think bad news. We've been told for years that salt raises blood pressure, stiffens arteries, and damages the heart. Dr. Emily Carter admits she once gave the same warning to her patients without hesitation. But experience has a way of humbling even the most seasoned doctor. She began noticing something odd. Men who cut out salt completely weren't thriving. They came back complaining of dizziness, constant thirst, and fatigue. Their blood pressure didn't always improve either. It was as if, by avoiding salt, they had lost not just flavor, but balance. Here's the nuance that gets lost in mainstream advice. It's not sodium itself that's the villain, but the type and the context. Think of refined table salt, the kind hiding in chips, canned soups, and fast food, as a stripped-down, one-note ingredient. It's mostly sodium chloride, with all the trace minerals nature designed washed away. Pour enough of that into your system, and it's like dumping acid on a garden. Nothing flourishes. Now compare that with unrefined sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. These natural salts contain a symphony of over 80 trace minerals, tiny but powerful building blocks that help your cells stay hydrated, your nerves fire smoothly, and your energy remains steady. I like to imagine the difference this way. Table salt is like a single drum banging out of rhythm. Natural salt is a full orchestra, each instrument adding to harmony. Your body feels that harmony. Sodium's real job is to act as the gatekeeper of hydration. It regulates how much water stays inside your cells and how much leaks away. Without enough sodium, you can drink gallon after gallon, but your body won't hold on to it where it matters. That's why some older men feel perpetually thirsty, even with a water bottle glued to their hand. Dr. Carter often prescribes something so simple it shocks her patients, just a pinch of natural salt in their morning water. Not a teaspoon, not a heaping scoop, just the tip of a pinky finger's worth. She's seen men return weeks later with brighter eyes and more stable energy, saying, "Doc, I didn't realize I could feel this steady again." At first, I'll admit the idea of adding salt to water sounded backward. We've been trained to fear it. But when I tried it, just a small pinch of Himalayan salt in my morning glass, I noticed something subtle but undeniable. A smoother kind of energy, not jittery like caffeine, but grounded. My focus lasted longer, and even workouts felt more fluid. It taught me that balance is the real secret. Sodium isn't about drowning your food in salt shakers. It's about restoring what aging quietly drains and doing it in its natural, unrefined form. If sodium is the gatekeeper that opens the door for hydration, there's another mineral that ensures everything flows smoothly once you step inside.
It's the mineral that relaxes your arteries, calms your nerves, and takes the brakes off your circulation. Dr. Carter calls it the great relaxer. Up next, magnesium and why most men over 50 are unknowingly starved for it.
Magnesium, the great relaxer. If sodium is the doorman that lets water enter, magnesium is the friend inside who tells everyone to relax and enjoy themselves. Dr. Emily Carter often calls it the great relaxer because it has a calming influence on nearly every system of the body. She meets men in their 60s who complain of restless nights, muscle cramps, or that constant tight feeling in their chest and shoulders. Many of them have already cut back on caffeine, sugar, and even salt, but they still feel tense and drained. Almost always, she suspects magnesium deficiency, and she's usually right. Here's the reality. About 3 out of 4 adults don't get enough magnesium, and as we age, that shortage becomes even more glaring. Magnesium plays a role in over 300 biochemical reactions. It regulates your heartbeat, keeps your blood vessels flexible, relaxes muscles, and soothes the nervous system. When you're low on it, your body is like a car driving with the brakes half pressed, always straining, never moving freely. Dr. Carter recalls a man in his late 60s who came in complaining of poor sleep and constant leg cramps. He was frustrated. He'd already made big lifestyle changes, even cut out his evening glass of wine, yet nothing seemed to help. After a simple adjustment, adding magnesium glycinate powder to his morning water, he came back weeks later with a smile. "Doc, my body finally feels calm again." His sleep improved, his energy felt steady, and his circulation opened up. It's not magic, it's chemistry. Magnesium gives your arteries permission to loosen, letting blood flow freely to your brain, muscles, and yes, your most vital tissues. I'll be honest, I underestimated magnesium for years. I thought of it as just another supplement on a shelf. But when I finally tried it, choosing magnesium citrate in water before bed, the effect was noticeable. My muscles felt less tight, I drifted into sleep faster, and my mornings carried a quiet steadiness instead of grogginess. It wasn't dramatic like caffeine. It was more like taking a heavy coat off after a long day, subtle but freeing. For men past midlife, magnesium isn't just about better sleep or fewer cramps. It's about circulation. Those smooth muscles lining your arteries, they depend on magnesium to relax. The spongy tissue that fills during arousal, same story. Without enough magnesium, everything stays a little too tense, a little too restricted. Add it back, and blood flows like it should, fueling your mind, your energy, and your vitality. So, sodium opens the door, and magnesium lets life move smoothly inside. But who keeps the rhythm steady, ensuring your heart doesn't pound too hard, your blood pressure doesn't creep too high, and your circulation hums like a well-conducted orchestra? That quiet conductor is potassium, and it may be the most overlooked mineral of all. Up next, how potassium restores balance and why our modern diet leaves so many men silently starving for it.
Potassium, the quiet conductor. If sodium opens the door and magnesium invites calm, potassium is the conductor standing at the front of the orchestra, making sure every instrument plays in rhythm. Without enough potassium, the whole performance falls out of tune. Your heart beats harder instead of smoother, blood pressure creeps upward, and circulation starts to feel sluggish. Dr. Emily Carter often tells her patients, "You probably don't realize it, but your body is quietly craving potassium." Why? Because our modern diet has tipped the scales in the wrong direction. Decades ago, meals were built around fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole foods, natural sources, brimming with potassium. Today, many meals are built around processed foods, loaded with sodium, but nearly void of potassium. That imbalance leaves the body tense, stiff, and off balance. Dr. Carter recalls one patient who was always bundled up because his hands and feet stayed icy cold. He couldn't understand why. even though he was hydrating diligently. After reviewing his diet, fast breakfasts, microwave dinners, barely any vegetables, it became clear he was running on sodium overload with almost no potassium. The fix wasn't complicated. Add a mineral blend rich in potassium to his daily water and encourage him to eat foods like spinach, avocado, and bananas. Within weeks, his circulation improved, his blood pressure eased, and his energy lifted. His words to Dr. Carter were simple but powerful. "I feel grounded again." Hearing that story made me reflect on my own habits. I realized most of my quick meals, sandwiches, canned soups, snack bars, were loaded with salt but had almost no fresh potassium sources. Once I consciously added a daily smoothie with spinach and banana, plus a small pinch of a potassium-rich electrolyte mix in my water after workouts, I noticed something surprising. Steadier energy, warmer hands, and a calmer heart rate during stressful moments. It wasn't dramatic. It was more like turning down background noise I hadn't realized was bothering me. My body just felt more at ease. Here's the beauty. Sodium and potassium are partners. Sodium draws water into your cells. Potassium makes sure the water doesn't overwhelm them. One without the other is imbalance. Together, they create the perfect tension that keeps blood flowing smoothly and your heart beating steadily. It's not about cutting salt to nothing or loading up on supplements. It's about restoring the natural design your body once had when your diet was full of whole, fresh foods. So far, we've seen how sodium opens the gate, magnesium relaxes the system, and potassium keeps the rhythm. But vitality isn't just about circulation. For men over 50, there's another spark that keeps motivation alive, hormones balanced, and immune defenses strong. That spark is zinc, the mineral of drive, clarity, and resilience. And it may be the very piece you've been missing without even knowing it.
Zinc, the spark of vitality. If potassium keeps your body's rhythms steady, zinc is the spark plug that ignites your inner engine. Without it, the machine still runs, but it misfires, sputters, and loses its drive. Dr. Emily Carter sees this all the time in men over 50. They don't complain of one single thing, they describe a fading spark. Their motivation slips, their mood dips, their energy feels flat. And when lab tests come back, there's a common theme: low zinc. The tricky part is that zinc deficiency doesn't scream loudly. It creeps in quietly. You don't suddenly collapse, you just feel a little less like yourself every year. And before long, that sense of vitality, of forward momentum, seems to have packed up and left. Zinc is essential for testosterone production, sperm health, muscle growth, and immune defense. Without enough of it, your body struggles to maintain optimal hormone levels. And here's the catch. As you age, your ability to absorb zinc from food declines. Add in alcohol, medications, or processed meals, and the gap grows wider. Dr. Carter remembers one patient in his early 70s who put it best: "I feel like my engine still runs, but the spark plugs don't fire." That image couldn't be more accurate. Zinc is that spark. When he started adding just a few drops of liquid zinc to his daily water, his feedback after a month was remarkable. It's like the lights came back on. I found this particularly striking because I've seen men in my own circle who weren't sick, but who quietly withdrew from activities they once loved. They stopped golfing with friends, felt too tired for evening walks, or simply lacked enthusiasm for life. Looking back, I suspect zinc, or the lack of it, was part of the hidden reason. I tested it myself, using a high-absorption liquid zinc in water a few times a week. The change wasn't dramatic, but it was steady. Clearer mornings, stronger workouts, sharper focus when working on projects, and, perhaps most importantly, a renewed sense of being engaged. That's what zinc gives. It flips the switch from standby mode to active mode. Another overlooked gift of zinc is immune strength.
Past 50, the immune system naturally slows down. Recovery takes longer, infections hit harder. Zinc helps your body build and activate immune cells, giving your defenses that extra edge. It doesn't just protect you from illness, it supports your energy and mood because you're not constantly dragging from low-grade inflammation or poor recovery. By now, we've covered minerals that hydrate, relax, and spark energy. But there's one more piece of the puzzle. Without it, your blood has no cargo to deliver. That mineral is iron. It's the silent carrier of oxygen, the very fuel that makes vitality possible. Up next, why iron is both essential and tricky, and how understanding it could mean the difference between feeling sluggish and feeling alive.
Iron, the oxygen carrier. If zinc is the spark that reignites your drive, iron is the delivery truck carrying the most precious fuel of all, oxygen. Without oxygen, no spark, no rhythm, no relaxation matters. Your blood can move, but it's like an empty train running on the tracks. It's not delivering anything valuable to your cells. Dr. Emily Carter often reminds her patients, true vitality doesn't come from caffeine or sugar, it comes from oxygen. And iron is the mineral that makes that delivery possible. It sits at the center of hemoglobin, the protein inside your red blood cells, binding oxygen and transporting it through your bloodstream. What does it look like when iron is low? Fatigue that doesn't go away with rest, shortness of breath when climbing stairs, paler skin, even subtle things like a faster heartbeat or weaker stamina in the gym. And yes, even performance in the bedroom can decline because poor oxygen delivery means poor circulation. Dr. Carter recalls a retired teacher in his late 60s who told her, "I'm not lazy, I just feel like I'm running out of gas." His diet was decent, his sleep wasn't bad, but something was clearly missing. Blood work showed his iron levels barely scraping the bottom of normal. With careful, medically supervised supplementation, just a gentle liquid iron a few times a week, he returned weeks later with more color in his cheeks and a new brightness in his voice. "Doc, I feel alive again," he said. I find iron fascinating because it's both essential and dangerous if misunderstood. Too little and you're exhausted. Too much and it can damage the liver and heart. That's why iron is not something to grab off a shelf casually. It needs guidance and balance. Personally, I've noticed that when I consistently eat iron-rich foods like lean beef, spinach, and lentils, I don't just feel stronger, I recover faster after workouts. My concentration feels sharper, and I don't hit that afternoon wall as often. It reinforces what Dr. Carter emphasizes. Oxygen is the foundation of true energy. When your tissues are starved of it, no supplement or trick can cover that gap. Iron isn't glamorous. It's not a buzzword mineral you see in flashy ads. But think about it. Every thought, every step, every heartbeat requires oxygen. Without iron to carry that oxygen, your whole system suffocates slowly. Men who think they're just getting older may in truth be quietly running on half-empty tanks. Restoring iron safely and appropriately often feels like rediscovering the body's original battery. Now we've explored the key players: sodium to open the gate, magnesium to relax, potassium to balance, zinc to spark, and iron to carry oxygen. But information alone doesn't change lives. What truly matters is how you weave these minerals into a simple, consistent routine. Up next, how to turn your daily glass of water into a ritual that restores blood flow, energy, and confidence one sip at a time. Turning water into a daily ritual. We've now met the key minerals sodium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, and iron. On their own, each plays a vital role. But the real transformation happens not when you know them, but when you use them in a steady, simple rhythm.
Dr. Emily Carter calls this the hydration ritual, a way to turn something as ordinary as water into daily medicine for your circulation and vitality. Think about it. You already drink water every day. That habit is built in. What if that same glass could also refuel your cells, steady your heartbeat, and quietly rebuild your confidence? That's the power of ritual. It takes something small and makes it powerful through consistency. Start the day before coffee, before emails, before the rush. Pour yourself a large glass of water and add just a pinch of natural salt or a small scoop of magnesium citrate. This isn't about drowning your body in electrolytes. It's about sending the signal: wake up, circulate, move. Many men notice within minutes that their thinking is clearer and their pulse steadier. I tried this myself, and the difference was subtle but real. It felt like my body shifted from idling to driving without the usual morning fog. After a meal, give your body a second boost. Add a few drops of liquid zinc to a glass of water. You're not just hydrating, you're fueling hormone production, sharpening immune defenses, and keeping your internal fire lit. Think of it like recharging your phone during the day. Small, intentional, and effective. Later in the day, after a walk, a workout, or even yard work, replenish what sweat takes away. This is the perfect moment for potassium-rich hydration. It restores balance between sodium and potassium, keeps circulation smooth, and calms your body before rest. For me, this simple step has often prevented that heavy-legged feeling after exercise and improved how deeply I sleep at night. Here's the truth. You won't wake up tomorrow with the vigor of a 25-year-old, but give this ritual 2 to 3 weeks and your body will begin to respond. The fog lifts a little sooner in the morning. The afternoon slump feels less like a crash. Your circulation hums more easily. It's not magic. It's biology finally being supported instead of ignored. The real secret is consistency, not complexity. Every glass of water becomes more than hydration. It becomes an act of rebuilding. But here's the catch. Even simple rituals can go wrong if done the wrong way. Dr. Carter has seen men sabotage themselves with too much salt, the wrong type of magnesium, or unrealistic expectations. So before you begin, let's walk through the 3 costly mistakes most men make and how to avoid them so your ritual works safely and effectively.
The 3 costly mistakes most men make. By now, you might be thinking, all right, I'll just grab some salt, a magnesium pill, and I'm set. But Dr. Emily Carter warns that good intentions can backfire if you miss the details. After decades of guiding patients, she's seen 3 common mistakes derail progress. The good news? They're easy to avoid once you know them. Mistake 1, using too much salt. When something feels good, the natural instinct is more must be better. But with minerals, balance is everything. Dr. Carter has seen men add teaspoons of salt to their morning water 8 times more than needed. The result? Puffy fingers, higher blood pressure, and disappointment. What works is a tiny pinch, barely the amount you can balance on your fingertip. That's enough to open the gate for hydration without overwhelming your system. Think of it like seasoning a meal. A little elevates the flavor, a handful ruins the dish. Mistake 2, choosing the wrong magnesium. Walk down any pharmacy aisle and you'll see rows of magnesium bottles. The cheap one, magnesium oxide, is everywhere. But here's the problem. It's poorly absorbed and often causes stomach upset. Dr. Carter calls it money down the drain. The forms that truly help are magnesium glycinate and citrate. They dissolve well in water, are absorbed efficiently, and gently support your body without side effects. Yes, they cost a few dollars more, but the difference is like filling your car with premium fuel instead of muddy water.
I learned this lesson the hard way myself. Years ago, I tried a bargain magnesium, and all I got was indigestion. When I switched to glycinate, the difference was night and day. Better sleep, calmer nerves, and no stomach trouble. Mistake 3. Expecting overnight miracles. We live in a culture of quick fixes. Pop a pill today, feel amazing tomorrow, but biology doesn't work that way, especially after 50. Your mineral stores didn't deplete overnight, and they won't rebuild overnight either. Dr. Carter encourages her patients to give their body at least 3 weeks of steady daily ritual. She says, trust your body for 21 days, and it will give you gratitude for decades. Some men notice changes in the first week, others take longer, but every time, consistency wins. I find these mistakes so relatable because I've made each of them myself, using too much salt, buying the wrong magnesium, and giving up too quickly. What I've learned is that the smallest, most mindful adjustments, done consistently, beat any crash solution. Now you know the pitfalls to avoid. You understand how to support your hydration, your circulation, and your vitality one glass at a time. But perhaps the most important lesson isn't about minerals at all. It's about mindset. Up next, Dr. Carter's final word on reclaiming your strength one sip at a time. A message of hope, resilience, and the reminder that you're never too old to feel young again.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Your body after 50 is not broken, and you are not destined to fade. What you may feel as aging is often just a quiet call for a different kind of care. Dr. Emily Carter has spent decades sitting across from fathers, husbands, and grandfathers who all share the same fear that the spark of vitality they once had is gone forever. And time and again, she's shown them that this spark is not gone. It's simply waiting for hydration that truly fuels the cells, waiting for minerals that open the flow of blood and oxygen, waiting for you to take back control with small, steady choices. Water alone is no longer enough, but with the right minerals, sodium to open the door, magnesium to relax, potassium to balance, zinc to spark, and iron to carry oxygen, you're not just drinking, you're rebuilding. You're reminding your body how to thrive again. Picture yourself 3 weeks from now, waking up clear-headed, with hands warm instead of cold, energy steady instead of crashing, and a calm confidence flowing through you. Imagine your partner noticing the difference in your step, your smile, your presence. That is not a fantasy. That is what happens when you turn something as simple as a glass of water into a ritual of renewal. I believe this is more than health advice. It's a message of dignity. Too often, men over 50 are told to expect decline, to accept fatigue, to surrender to just getting old. But the truth, what Dr. Carter has proven time and again, is that age is not the end of vitality. It's the beginning of wisdom, of smarter choices, of honoring the body with what it truly needs. So here's my challenge to you from Men's Vital Health. Tomorrow morning, before your coffee, before the noise of the day, pour a glass of water. Add that pinch of natural salt, that scoop of magnesium, that drop of zinc. Take one mindful sip and remind yourself, you are choosing strength, you are choosing clarity, you are choosing life flowing through you again. If this message spoke to you, don't let it stop here. Tap the like button, share this video with a brother, a friend, or anyone you care about who deserves to feel alive again. And subscribe to Men's Vital Health because together with Dr. Emily Carter, we are building a community where men over 50 don't fade quietly, they rise, they adapt, and they thrive. Remember this, you are never too old to feel young again. It starts with a choice, it starts with one sip, and that sip starts today.